In this video, we are going to take you through a sample DriveWorks Solo project that we have set up to create a range of fans. Clicking on the Run Specification button launches the project. This first form allows us to select the type of fan that we want to design. The drop-down menu provides a selection of design options to choose from. Choosing a fan style from the menu updates the image below to display our selection. In this example, I'm going to select a desk fan. Now that we have selected the type of fan we want to create, the next form allows us to provide some details about our customer. The customer information is vital to our project, as we'll see later on. For this reason, we have highlighted the text boxes to show that this information is required. As I complete the form, the highlights disappear. However, if there is a problem with the information entered, a warning triangle will be displayed and a message will appear at the bottom of the form. We then have the option to choose who our customer is. We can choose between a new customer or an existing customer. Choosing each option changes the form controls below. If we are selecting an existing customer, we can choose from the drop-down of customers, which has been populated from a table created inside of DriveWorks Solo. However, if we're filling this out for a new customer, then we can fill out the information in the text boxes. The rules we have created in this DriveWorks Solo project not only ensure that the mandatory fields are completed, but also that invalid characters are not used. A warning triangle will appear if an invalid character is entered. As well as this, we have also added a limit to the number of characters allowed in each text box. With all the form controls filled out correctly, the form warnings disappear and we can proceed to the next form. Here we have the opportunity to choose the blade quantity, which on the desk fan varies from 2 to 5 blades. We can also choose the number of speed settings. These are the buttons on the fan which determine the speed. Again, you'll notice that by changing these options, the image also changes. This next form allows us to choose our blade radius. This affects the overall diameter of the fan head. So as we move the slider, you'll notice that the dimension of the drawing is changing. We can choose our diameter, and again we can click Next and choose some of the external features of the fan. Here we have a list of colours, which is being populated from a DriveWorks Solo table. You'll notice as we change the selection, the pitch box below updates to the selected colour. This is again based on a DriveWorks rule that we've created on this project. We can then choose our blade material, the material of the wire casing around the fan, and the material of the fan body. Our final form is a summary. At this point, we can specify our currency. As I change the currency, you'll notice that the price is updated based on an exchange rate rule created in DriveWorks Solo. The summary shows our selections from the previous forms, 4 speed settings, 5 blades, and the material selections that we chose. This then gives us a total, and we can then choose whether to finish, go back and edit the project, or have a preview of what the project is going to look like. By clicking Preview, DriveWorks Solo will generate the model. At this point, it is applying temporary file names to a copy of the master model and simply driving the dimensions and the properties of the model to the values that you have chosen in the specification. With the model now finished, you'll see that the colour has changed to red, the material has been applied, we have 5 blades and 4 speed settings. At this point, if we feel it necessary, we can go back and make some changes. So we may want to change the blade radius, which will consequently change the diameter of the overall fan head. As this is generated, you'll see the fan resize and the head get smaller. We can also preview the general arrangement drawings. By clicking the Drawings button, we can select which fan drawing to preview, and we can click OK. DriveWorks will then go ahead and generate that for us. As the drawing is being generated, you'll notice that the model is rescaled, resized, and then it shows the updated model that we have specified. The rules we have created in this DriveWorks Solo project have ensured that the drawing borders have been populated with the information taken from the second form. We also have a bill of materials that has been populated with a description, part number, and a quantity. We then have balloons that have resized and repositioned to look neat on the drawing. DriveWorks Solo gives you the ability to create a set of documents with each of your new specifications. These documents can be previewed at any point during the specification process by clicking on the Documents button. By doing this, we can double check that the information has been populated correctly before we finish the specification. We can check our quotation and check that the correct information has been sent through correctly. So for example, all the unit prices are correct and the total is correct. We can then check our covering letter and again all the information has been populated. Here we can check our selection summary. This is a summary of all the selections we have made in the specification. And finally, we can check our bill of materials, which is an XML version of the one in our drawing. All these documents have been created in DriveWorks Solo, again based on rules. Documents like these can be easily created using the templates available in DriveWorks Solo. There is also a report file, which is constantly updated, providing an audit trail of each action DriveWorks Solo has taken to generate this variation. So looking at this, you can see it has driven the custom properties of the drawing, it has applied the material, and in other generation reports, you can see that it has driven the dimensions. Any action that DriveWorks Solo takes is reported on. This is really useful for troubleshooting and validating your rules in your project to ensure that you have built them correctly and that they have been calculated correctly. Once we are happy with our project, we can go through to the end of the navigation and select Finish. Here we are presented with our Finish dialog. We can choose whether to save the models, generate the drawings, generate the documents, and whether or not to show all the files in Windows Explorer once the generation is finished. So with everything checked, we'll have our drawings, our models, our documents, and we'll see them all in the location we've specified in our project once the generation is finished. In this model, you'll see it generate to the values we have set out. So it will be red, it'll have 5 blades, the radius will have changed to what we specified when we previewed it, and there will be 4 speed settings. We'll then go on to the drawings, and the drawing we previewed will be saved as a copy from the master, with its final file name and in the location that we specified. We then move on to the exploded view drawing, and you'll see this rescale and reposition into the middle of the page. And once again, the drawing border will be populated. Once this drawing is complete, we'll then move on to a drawing of the fan by itself. And once again, the drawing will be populated with information and the dimensions will be driven. Now that the generation is complete, Windows Explorer is displayed showing our file locations. Rules were created in the project to specify where the files will be saved. The folder is named accordingly based on an order number that we placed on the second form, and then within this we have a Documents, Drawings and Models folder containing the appropriate files generated by DriveWorks. As well as this, we have our Drive Report file that has been saved and can be reviewed at any point. So that brings us to the end of our fan project video. If you have any questions, contact your SOLIDWORKS reseller for more information. Alternatively, check out the online help file or email support@driveworkssolo.com.